I think we are live. So GP will join anytime soon. So hopefully if I can see some comments, hi, hello, then I know that you guys are there. Uh, so this so the idea for this particular sort of session that we are doing is that Zat as hello, uh, Hanshika, and others. Hi Parvati, hi Sashi. So the reason why the thought of actually creating this particular session is, so ZAT has come out with certain the certain information regarding how the XLR has come out with certain information regarding how the test is going to be in terms of the time limit and stuff. So thought of discussing that and seeing if there is anything that needs to be changed. Hi Syed, hi Sarhash. So I hope that your preparation for the test is going on. Any specific questions you guys have, so I can actually see the chat box, so I can pick those one up, so you can shoot them. In the meanwhile, let me just check if GP is joining in. Okay, so glad to see after remaining for one. Okay, I've been out for some stuff. Okay, so how to revise QA concept that I've done until now in 2 days. Uh, remaining far from VRC 1000 kids. Yes, I'm remaining far. I'm remaining far from everyone. So, so this is. Let me actually uh, go through what is what they have. So I think this is available in the website. So one of the things that immediately we see that this part one is now 175 minutes, right? So that's 10 minutes extra. Verbability is 26 questions. That was how it was last year, 28 questions here. And decision making is 22 questions. I believe the last couple of years it was 21 questions. So all these are adding up to say 76 now. So last year it was 75, so not much of a change. And there is a part two, which is a mock keyboard testing. I believe that this is for writing the essay. And what they're saying, you're actually given 30 minutes next for the general knowledge, which is 25 question, which I'm guessing that you will finish in about 5 minutes. And they will give you 3 questions, and candidate must answer 1 out of 3 essays. So I don't know what is this count of 105. I'm still figuring out what the logic 105 is. Okay, anyone can let me know. So I think that this is 76 plus 3, that is 79. 79 plus 24. I have no idea. It doesn't add up to 105. Am I making? Uh, it's not adding up to 105. How much is adding up to? It's adding up to 102, I think, 103. Okay, I don't know what it is. So here, again, I think that it's given here itself in terms of what that. Okay, so then he's saying, then there is the same logic as to +1 marks and minus 0.25 marks. Negative marking for every unattempted question. After 8 unattempted question, negative 0.1 mark. And this is something that we have discussed before as well, something that you should not bother much, right? So which means that you lose 1 mark. If you lose mark. I think you lose mark on every 10 questions unattempted. In fact, 8 is mafi. So your first 1 mark is lost after 18 questions that you leave, right? And this is like you lose one mark in every 4 questions. So I think that you should just ignore number 7. That's something that we discussed. Negative marking does not apply to general knowledge questions. Essays will be evaluated if a candidate is shortlisted for the GDP process at XLRA. So the part 2 is the second stage. And then you've got um, other thing. Okay, so he said after completion 175 minutes, the timer will reach 0. Part 1 will be locked. You'll be moved to part 2 and part 3 section. Okay, so that's it. And there is sort of nothing else uh, kind of what is necessary. So one of the things that many of you might be thinking at this point in time is, what is the logic of adding these 175 questions, whether there'll be an increase in level of difficulty in the particular paper. My general take is that it's very unlikely that the paper is going to be very different from what you have in the last 2 to 3 years. In which case, even if it's going to be even if it's going to be difficult, it's going to be difficult for everyone. But I don't think there's going to be a major difference. So it is obviously a paper where you have all the time with you, right? You can actually plan it really well. I hope that at this point in time you have some sort of a strategy. You can actually plan the session. There is no, you can move around between these three sections. So to me, when I look at this, whatever they have given here, I actually don't see as a problem. Here it's great that they've given 35 minutes, which means you can knock these questions about 2 to 3 minutes, which means you can have a good 25 odd minutes dealing with the essay, and you are given 3 questions, and you just answered one of them, and this is about 250 words. So you are looking at a good short essay with good arguments that you're presenting. So you can spend maybe about even 10 minutes, 15 minutes thinking about what you want to write, and then write it. So I personally look at this and saying that this is like good for you guys, right? And there is nothing that you need to worry. There is whatever is the preparation that you're doing currently should be sort of good enough. So that sort of the first thing that I want to look at it. Okay. So other thing is, yes, let me pick up some of the things that you're talking about. Scoring 13 marks, sir. What should be my expectation? So what you will tend to see, right? So one of the thing, one of the worry point that you may have at this point in time. I think the major worry point that most of you would have at this point in time is maybe a very fluctuating decision making scores, right? So you're trying to use. I think you're looking at maybe a mock test, whichever mock test that you're taking. In one test, you're scoring, let's say 15. Another test, you're going to about 3. You're trying to apply logic onto you. You're trying to apply consistent logic. You looked at a question, it looked very similar to something that you've done before. Then you're trying to apply the logic. It is going all over the place. My feeling, general feeling, that the decision making may have a lot of frustration. Am I telling you right? Let me just ask you guys there if that is a worry. Uh, uh, so do you have that? Do you see that huge fluctuation that happens? Which section is paining you first? Let me ask that first. Uh, So it will be the toughest XAT of all time, just like CAT, correct? No, why would it be the toughest XAT? I think just because they're giving extra time does not, what? It's only 10 minutes, right? I don't think that it's going to be a tougher XAT. You don't have to worry about that. I think XAT has anyway moved to a place wherein it has been very difficult, and then there has come down. So one issue that you might have. So what my simple suggestion with respect to decision making for all of you is that you evaluate the question on its merit. Don't think that I have looked at this question before. There was a similar question before. Just look at the question, the merit of it. You focus on whatever is the criteria that laid out in that particular decision making, and make the best decision. So even if, let's say, you look at about 50% accuracy, 50-60% accuracy, 60-70% accuracy, I think that should be sort of good enough. I'm sure that one of the issues that you might, I think VALR would be probably another area that you're going up and down in terms of uh, uh, consistency with respect to your scores. It's my general feeling. But one other thing that you so one thing that you have to realize is that you are unlike, for example, exam, like you are not under pressure, right? So you have a good, this is almost like 3 hours. Yeah, you've got 3 sections. It's the decision making is going to take about maximum about 50 minutes. You can literally spend about 60 minutes in the verbal ability logical section, right? There is nothing, there is no need to hurry. You understand the passage very carefully. That's sort of my only advice that I have to you guys. You read it carefully. There is no need to hurry, right? And other thing is that don't overanalyze any of these questions. The One of the things that I would like to point out with respect to what I've seen with XLRI is that the cutoff has been, the level of difficulty is kind of a little unpredictable. You've got 2020 paper which is like very crazy. I think the cutoff came down to, let's say, 3 mark, 4 mark. There are other times when the cutoff for each of the section is roughly about 10 marks. I'm talking about VLR. Don't take any unnecessary risk with respect to that particular section. You make sensible decision. All the sort of short critical reasoning questions can be managed. It is not like the essays or the RCs that you're going to get is unbelievably tough. You can still manage them. So there is no need to hurry with respect to any of those sections. That's sort of the first thing that I want to talk. Okay. So, sir, getting average score of how much is that saying? 30. Getting an average score of 30 in that box, I think that's good. That's okay. All right, that's fine. So in CAT, I got 99.46, but here can't even get beyond 10. So Syed, what is it? It's like only a VLR, right? So okay, all right, okay. So first of all, you have to understand that 10 should be. I don't know what is the percentile, which mock you're referring to. So you're looking at about 26 question. If you get technically anything about 13, 14, I'm sure that's a pretty good score anyways. So even if let's say getting about 10, 12, 13, 14, I don't think that is something that you should worry about. My feeling is that, I don't know whether I know that's the case. My feeling is that maybe you're taking unnecessary risk when it comes to your blindly probably marking some of these questions, right? There are 5 answer choices. You can eliminate a couple of them, and then you can sort of manage. Okay, so at this point in time, my suggestion. So you've got what? You've got Saturday, then you're hitting Sunday, right? The first thing that I would suggest is that don't bother too much about this 175 story. 175-minute story, you have got enough time. You got extra 10 minutes, right? The number two that I would want to kind of talk about verbal ability and logical reasoning is that you're going to have the passages that you get. If you look at the recent XAT passages, it is not that these passages were extremely tough. It is not. Okay, there are 5 answer choices which may trouble you a bit, but it just need to be logical in your approach. Just don't hurry whatsoever and deal with it. Even if, let's say, I can get past, let's say, 10 questions. You've got the paragraph jumble, right? You've got those questions which is vocabulary based question. You've got a couple of grammar based questions. You're going to get critical reasoning based questions. You'll have a couple of poems there. You've got reading comprehension question. That's a paper, right? So it is not necessary that you should blindly sort of the blindly mark answer to everything. So it's just have to be sensible. You'll be able to crack this one. My recommendation maybe for the last a couple of days when it comes to verbal ability and logical reasoning is to go back and maybe look at the questions from the recent XAT. Just redo those questions once again, and just keep your you keep it cool there. Okay. So safe score XLR Jamshedpur BM for general engineering mail. So when I look at so if I generally look at the cutoffs, right? If I look at how the cutoff used to be, so if I generally look at what the cutoff used to be when you see the cutoffs, so let's take the cutoff for VALR, then you have DM, and then you have QADI, and let's look at overall. Typically, the cutoff for your VLR is roughly going to be in the range of 8 to 9. Decision making would be about 7 to 8 usually, right? And your quant would be about 8 to 10, and the overall cutoff would be somewhere in the range of 30 to 32. So this sort of the overall cutoff. Okay, this is kind of overall cutoff, and this will be usually about 90 percentile. But when you want to hit, if you want to hit 99 plus percentile, the good score to be is roughly around 40, right? One of the things that you want to ensure, the way in which I look at this particular paper, one of the things that you want to ensure is kind of look at about 10, 10, 10 first, and then see which section you can sort of maximize the score. That maximization is not going to come from decision making section. Decision making, you just take the 10 and you should be happy about it. If you can cross 9, 10, you should be kind of happy about it. Which means if you attempt all the questions and you get about 60, 70% accuracy, in one set you get 2 out of 3 correct, that should be sort of good enough. Your increase in score can come from either the QA or the VALR. That's how we want to look at it. Now that you have 175 minutes with you, you can really plan it, right? You can spend maybe, I don't know, maybe about 50 minutes in the beginning, which is 150 minutes that is done. So you would have probably done decision making completely. You would have done then whatever is the 25 minutes you figure out where you want to spend, right? To sort of solve as much as possible. So that's kind of something that I would recommend. So yeah, welcome. So I
Hi,
was
Gijo.
no,
Yeah, sorry, Gijo. My apologies. I was stuck with the SOPs. Still clearing all the SOPs for Lucknow. Hmm,
so saying that this so
hmm,
एक तो समझ में नहीं आया जीपी वो, it's like ये बोल रहा है 105 questions in total. Okay,
yeah,
if I count this is 76 question. If I
hmm,
count, this is 25 question, and there are 3 questions out of which you have to write one.
yeah.
So it is totally is
Submit ही
not.
नहीं बैठता. Even then, it is 104.
Yeah, but it's not fitting in. And if I look at from last year, this is 26, this is 28, and this is a +1 edition making. Okay, so
Yes,
that's
+1.
and plus
Yeah,
175. But that's it. No, from last year was 20, 26, 21, and 28. It's 26, 22, and 28, and 175 minutes like +10. So there is nothing to worry. Is what I've told the students. Some
yeah,
of them
yeah.
are worried. Some of them are
Worried
saying that
on.
it's going to be
Worried
very tough.
why?
It's going to be tough.
Because they have given 10 minutes extra.
Yeah. It's a feeling.
30 minutes essay. Part C is 30 minutes. General knowledge 25. They have made it very, very convenient actually.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Actually, they have made it very convenient, especially the essay part last year.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, so 25 minutes of those 30 or 25 GK question you'll do in 5-7 minutes.
Hmm.
So that means you'll have at least 20 minutes for essay, which is good.
Yeah.
So, okay. So 25 odd minutes is fine. I would be very happy with this kind of a paper for the simple reason it means I don't need to rush.
Correct.
However,
So is it
my suggestion is the 10 minutes extra don't spend in DM.
correct? Hmm.
If you analyze the DM questions a lot, you will only convert them correct answers into long answers.
So if I look at
DM, you
this,
will
what
typically get. Sorry.
GP, please continue.
No, all I was saying, yeah, DM is a case is a kind of question. Either you will get it right or wrong in the first instance, and spending more time will only get it wrong from right.
Right.
So don't spend that extra 10 minutes in DM. Use it either for verbal or for quantitative.
So what I was suggesting is that assume that we are going with the 7 sets like last year, right? So
Yes,
I don't know which is
right.
one set, maybe one extra question. Even if I
Yeah,
spend about 6 to 7 minutes, I think you're looking at about 49 to 50 minutes for this particular section,
max.
right?
Yeah,
So which means I'm left with 125 minutes for these two,
hmm,
right?
hmm,
So even if let's say I start with looking at 50, 50, 50, and
hmm,
then finish up DM, and then looking at
hmm,
so you still have 25 minutes left to sort of look at which section to maximize, or you're looking at 75, 50, 50, or 60,
hmm, hmm,
50.
hmm.
So you've got extra minutes. You're right. So you're not spending in uh, decision
DM.
making at DM. So 50 minutes mein karo. So
Yeah.
just want to ask you something, GP. I think many of the students have a problem with decision making. They're looking at the scores, which is ranging up and down. What would be
Mhm,
sort of a
mhm.
suggestion to?
See, see,
Uh,
first thing is you have gone through the old ZAT papers. Okay, whatever you can do. Again, all you can do is looking at those old ZAT papers. So, yeah, looking at those old ZAT papers. Hopefully, you have been able to decipher the logic which ZAT uses. Okay. However, when you look at DM as an area, you have to out of the 22 odd questions, if you have got 15, 16 right, you have done a terrific job of the paper.
Awesome
Okay.
will be.
Okay. So if I say 15 right, that means 7 wrong. 7 wrong means about 2 marks gone. Okay. So that means you'll be at 13. So 13 is a terrific score in this paper. So if you are getting about 8 to 10 marks, please don't worry. You're absolutely on track. Not an issue at all. Okay. The important thing in DM, I'll again repeat what I said a little while ago. Don't spend too much time on a question. If you spend extra time, you'll only get confused and you will end up marking the wrong answer. So the rule is go through the choices, keep eliminating all the options. Whichever looks sensible, keep retaining them. In the end, if you are, let's say, left with two options, go with the one which makes more sense to you and move on. Don't worry any about it at all. Okay. Okay. So that's the only thing you can do. Revise, go through those critical questions of DM. Last 2 3 years papers. Look at those questions which were a little confusing. Understand the logic. To me, that understanding of logic is very very important.
Yeah. So, so this is what it was. Usually the cutoff is like 7 to 8 days if you look at the
Yeah.
uh, years
I,
ahead. So if you get about 10, I think it should be good.
yeah. Yeah.
So that
10 is a very good score. 10 is not an issue. As you've written, I think 10, 10, 10 is the base. After that, you maximize either in verbal or in quant. If
correct.
you're good in English, getting 17, 18 marks in English is not a challenge. Up to 20 also you can get. Similarly, if you're good in quant, you can get a 20. So I would say it could be 10, 10, 20 or 10, 10, 20, 10, 10. Okay. By and large, that's the way you need to look at it. Where am I maximizing? You should be clear. And what Gijo said in the end, those 25 minutes in the end, that's there's a section where I want 20, those 25 odd minutes possibly will go there. Okay.
So you don't have that kind of pressure like the CAT. You can actually look at every single question of quant, maybe if
Uh,
you're good in quant, and solve it uh,
in fact,
fully.
as far as quant is concerned, you could just click on the question paper button, go through all the 27, 28 questions in one shot, identify which are those 10, 12 questions you'll definitely attempt. Do those
Correct.
questions, and then you don't have that luxury in CAT, by the way, because CAT is a paper which does not give you that much time. That is giving you 175 minutes rather than worry about it कि 175 मिनट दे दिया अब मेरी प्रॉब्लम है. Make use of that. And remember, if it's, as we always say, if it's a difficult paper, it will be difficult for everyone, so it would not matter in the end.
Right. So the general suggestion, GP, for QADI in the next 2 days, what should people do? You've
We'll
got,
be repeating ourselves for the, I don't know, nth time or nth
but we
plus
should.
once time, but we'll still do it, still say the same thing. Don't do anything except maybe revise a few things which you
Correct.
want. But beyond that, there's nothing you can do. You have done whatever you could have done. So many times for CAT, you have done the same thing. For IFT, you have done it. For ZAT, again, you have done it. So, so by now, at least I would hope you have clarity as of what you know and what you don't know. Okay. So that's the only
I,
thing you can do.
I, I think the paper the biggest mistake that you can do in the paper is panicking and doing random things. Right.
Yeah.
So if I remember GP 2020, go back to 2020 once again. Right.
Hmm.
The paper was crazy. Right.
Hmm.
But the cutoff, let me tell you the cutoffs. So just to give a perspective in terms of was 2020 BM cutoffs were. The verbal cutoff for 2020 was 2.6. The decision making cutoff was 5.9, and your QADI cutoff was 7.8, and overall cutoff was 21.46. This is a general male business development. You had a cutoff which is 2.6. You had a cutoff which is 5.9. Right. So if, let's say, if the paper is going to be something that is crazy, right, that does not mean that you're going to go wild. You pick up, you be very very sure. I think there is no point unnecessarily marking answer. You can obviously take a bet, in a reasonable bet with reasonable VA question, but unnecessary betting did make sense. So just keep your cool. That's what I would say with respect to this paper, right? So this is just a 2020 story. Otherwise, usually
Yeah.
that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I always say, every 10 years, that does something crazy. 2001, they introduced online computer-based test, and all of us were standing outside the examination center in cold, and the paper never happened. They had to cancel it. Okay. 2011, another crazy paper, and 2020 again another crazy paper. Okay. So that you are safe. You are 23. You are not 20, 30, or 31. So you are safe.
Is it my phone or your phone?
It was my phone which I have switched off now.
This now is better. Yeah. Chalo. Let's pick up some questions.
Jijo, can you just show me that document again? I'll just quickly glance anything else which is there.
So
You
the
can just share
document.
that document on the screen. Yeah.
So document says this. There is a keyboard testing. It then says marks awarded is +1, minus 0.25,
That
negative
8
marking.
minus. Yeah.
Uh,
Please don't worry about this. Don't
uh,
mark an answer to save minus zero point 0.1 and get a minus 0.25.
yeah. And there is nothing much cheap. I think basically people can just be chill and do the one. Okay, so that says don't carry prohibited item and things. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's it.
Oh, that reminds me, I have to get my admit card from the office. So, okay. Okay.
Uh, so I said, sir, I'm facing issues in QADI. I face difficulty during mocks, but end up realizing that the question is easy. How to cope with this? That's a question.
Mm, 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 mm. Oh, so.
So Swastik, I think this. So I don't know what is happening in the examination. You have a lot of time, right? So for example, I'm facing issues. I face difficulty during mocks, but end up realizing the question is easy. How to cope with it? So what you have to do is that. So like what GP said. For example, what you want to do is open the question paper button, pick up let's say the 5 6 question that you want to start with first, solve it. Okay, so you can basically do sort of round one on each of these sections. Then you come back on a second look at other questions. That's what you want to do. I think you've got enough time to do. Okay. Sir, on 800 question overall or in section? Overall 800 questions. That's what you need to. Okay. So main problem is VLR scoring very low in VLR. Please suggest for VLR as well. Okay. So if your main problem in VLR, right? I don't know what is your low score in VLR mean. So long as you are able to cross something like 10, I think you should be in a safe place, right? In some cases, even 8, 9 is a safe place. What you essentially would want to do with respect to VLR is that ensure that you do well in all those sort of critical reasoning based questions. You have i- i- in all these questions, no, all the questions of exam. If you kind of understand the passage reasonably well, understand the stuff that is there well, okay, you comprehend, focus on comprehension, don't focus on speed or anything here, focus on comprehension, and then go and eliminate answer choices. This is an examination because you have to deal with 5 answer choices. uh, Around couple of answer choices will be easy to eliminate, quickly eliminate them, and that's how you can deal with that. Okay. uh, so will the test centers provide pens too? Just the rough sheet as mentioned in admit card? I know it's a dumb question, but I want to go with full clarity. I think you can carry a pen with you. Uh, I don't I don't remember last time. It's the same TCS pen, so you can carry the plus. Okay. How to deal with the issue of over attempting? Double, I think at this point in time you just can't deal with it. I think the fact about over attempting mean you are prejudging. I believe you're saying that you're still not confident. For example, you're saying that I attempted, let's say in quant, I attempted 13 questions, and there are, for example, another 15 questions left. Some of these questions are difficult, but then you're trying to solve. I believe that is over attempting may also happen with respect to VLR, uh, wherein you're attempting certain question where we are really confident. So you can also attempt question which you're reasonably confident, but uh, don't attempt the ones which is difficult. So my suggestion would be this. Okay, so you divide the paper into two parts, right? You may spend about, let's say, 50 minutes and ensure that you get 10 10 10 marks. That's your objective. Okay, in that 50 minutes, in the first round of one, look at all the questions, pick up the question that is easy, deal with them. Same with VLR and handle TM, and you have got 25 minutes, and then go back and look at the section that you want to maximize in, right?
And just to add to what Gijo said, when you're doing 50-50-50,
hmm,
don't rush.
yeah,
That I'm spending 50 minutes does not mean I have to complete the section in 50 minutes.
hmm,
All it means is do whatever you can in those 50 minutes at a pace at which is convenient for you. Do the easy questions. Please don't touch the difficult question in the first 50 minutes. Okay. So in English, if I say your strength area is RC, you should look at doing RC. You could go sequentially. Or if you say RC, I'm pathetic when it comes to that, the first thing you need to do is finish off the verbal portion, because some of the vocabulary questions, analogies, synonyms, antonyms, grammar, fill in the blanks, you'll be able to solve. And out of the 27 questions, Gijo, of English, isn't it?
26. Yeah,
26 questions of English. My guess is it is likely to be 14 plus 12. 14 of English reading comprehension,
correct.
2 questions of poem, and 10 questions of verbal. Out of those 10 questions of verbal, you'll probably get 6, 7 marks. You have most probably cleared the cutoff already. And now in the rest of the English portion, even if you get a, let's say, 5, 6 marks, 5, 6, 7 questions correct, you'll probably be 12 correct answers, and the net score of 10 plus will be possible. Okay.
Yeah. So, like out of this 12 question that you're going to get, which is verbal, there'll be about 6, 7, which is short paragraph based, right? So, if you don't hurry with the question, if you read it along, so you'll handle it.
Hmm.
Next question, GP. Sir, can DI be the biggest booster in QA DI? I'm getting around 16 plus in VRC, 13 plus in DM. I'm not that great in QA, but able to attempt DI with 90% accuracy. What should I do? That sort of. Huh?
Sambuddha, you have answered your question yourself. What should you do? You should do DILR first. You should not you should finish those. Okay, so as far as QA, I am assuming you'll possibly be able to do 5-6 questions, if not more. If you do two sets of DILR, you are possibly 20. You are already not 20. Sorry, 12, 13 questions down. Good enough. Achieved your target by and large. Okay.
So again, Puneet sir, scoring 12 plus in both VA and DM, but struggling in QA, not comfortable geometry, should attack DI sets then.
Yeah, absolutely right. But don't assume all 3 sets or all the sets of DILR will be easy. One odd is definitely going to be very easy. One odd is usually difficult. So there again, that choice or the choosing the right sets of data becomes very, very important.
The DI in XAT is not like the CAT convoluted ones, and mostly it'll be sort of they'll be still. You have to think about it, but don't at this point in time. My suggestion for both Sam Buddha and Puneet is this: that let's not go with any preconceived notion.
Yes.
You've got good time, which is 50, right? You look at let's say you've got more than 50 minutes to spend. Actually, you can spend 61 hour also. So,
Yeah.
attack, go round one. Okay, whatever is comfortable, then attack the round two. So I
And
only
also
attempted.
remember, Jugaad works.
Yeah,
Jugaad,
always.
both in QA and DI, you will be able to use Jugaad. There will be at least 7-8 questions you will solve using Jugaad only. So using Jugaad itself, you can do using Jugaad plus DI, you can clear cutoff very, very comfortably.
So just don't panic. That's all. So I only attempted like 3 mocks for that, but I'm feeling reasonably confident because of CAT K mocks. Am I wrong? That's no problem. It's the same test, no? I think the skill set are more or less the same.
Yes.
QA is more or less the same. The verbal is more or less the same thing, comprehension based. Decision making is again logical based. So if I think it's fine, there's no problem. For unattended question beyond 8 questions, does negative marking affect sectional marks as well? I think they
Yes.
distribute across the 3 sections. No, that's what I think.
Yes. That's right. It affects sectional scores also. So if you have a whatever your negative scores, negative on account of unattempted question will be distributed in the 3 sections, uh, in the ratio of unattempted question in the sections. Okay. So if you have, let's say, 3 unattempted questions in DM, 7 unattempted questions in verbal, and let's say 10 unattempted question in quant. So total 20 unattempted question. DM will be total negative will become 3 out of 20 will be 3 by 20. All the total unattempted negative mark goes to DM. Similarly, 7 out of 20 goes to the other English, and 10 out of 20 or half of it goes to quant.
Sir, I haven't attempted any mock until now, but have solved previous 6 years paper. Fine, that's perfect. I think solving previous 6 years paper is 6 marks only, no? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's good enough. Yeah.
If there's anything else you want to do, if you are very keen to do something, all you should do is earlier, older papers of that, only the English and DM. Don't look at quant.
I have sort of another question to ask to all of you. I don't know how many of you are here still. How many of you are a little frustrated with CAT and others are getting calls and you're looking at today and going, yeah, things didn't happen. Anyone here is like, you're still that issue with respect to CAT is still back of your mind, and I don't know how many of you in that situation. My only suggestion, only suggestion is that you've got that right. It's a new exam. It doesn't matter. Just in those 3 hours that you have, just focus on what you have in the on the screen. On the screen. That's it. Okay. Just don't bother about what happened the previous. Just take the test. It's a new test. It's a different test. Okay. Uh, so that's my suggestion. Okay. We have got some question from Vedant. By the time I reach QA, it becomes tiring. It's my weak session. Should I start with QA first and then VLR? If you reach QA, it's going to be tiring. Might as well start with QA. I think that is.
Yeah.
That's. But it shouldn't matter. Is it 3 hour long? Long. It's like,
No, but
no.
I don't think it's long. But now for the last couple of years, people are used to a 2-hour paper, so they are finding 3 hours long. Okay.
Okay.
But my point here would be essentially it's perfectly fine to start with QA. But don't come back and then say QA acha nahi hua, so I messed up the other sections also. So you know you are not strong in QA. Verbal, you are strong. In the end, is not going to be an issue. Hopefully, QA should not impact your rest of the paper if you don't do as well in QA as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got some more. Ayushi has a question. Sir, I left my job in September to prepare for CAD. How should I utilize the time post that from Jan to June? Look for another job, or is it a too short a time? Please suggest. Don't want to waste the time. It depends. I think if you got whether you got a call currently. I don't know what the situation is. Whether you have a call with you, you want to prepare for the call. My suggestion, I think GP can also give his perspective on this. My perspective is always be safe, right? In your career, so just be safe. So, what is the safest thing to be in during Jan and June? So, if you want to, if you can get something, you pick it up. There's no problem. If you believe that you have lot many calls and you want to prepare for it, then ignore it. Just try and focus on converting it and look at it later. It all depends upon your current situation. That's what I recommend.
Yeah, exactly. Jijo. My first question was, is Ayushi saying that she's messed up cat and she's not getting any calls from there? If that's
I
the
don't know.
case, then before looking at picking up a job, she needs to wait for another few days. Get over with that. Another 4 5 days, you'll have the response sheet. You'll know what score you're getting, and accordingly take a call. Assuming Ayushi, you don't get anything decent from CAT or that, and you are looking at CAT 23, my suggestion is going to be please pick up a job. And while Jijo is a little ambivalent about it, I will usually be very rigid about this aspect. The reason is I see every year large number of students getting frustrated because I have left the job, still I'm not doing well, and then they put a huge pressure on themselves. Okay? So it becomes really frustrating for students, and it becomes a do or die effort. And as I always say, usually do or die efforts end up in die. Okay, so it is good to have a job, which is, if nothing else, a small distraction. Otherwise, CAT is not a paper for which you need to study 18 hours a day. This is not civil services. This is not IIT JEE. This is not CA. So CAT, as long as you can get a job which will allow you 3 4 hours a day, you are very safe. Okay.
So I will actually agree with. I think GP is absolutely right. So what happens if when you don't have a job, you end up you're forced to pick up whichever college comes your way. So
Yeah.
Ayushi, don't do that. Okay. So don't force yourself to take a college that otherwise you would not have taken just because you don't have a job. So if things didn't work out, the first thing is take a job. I think that's way. Puneet Joshi, to be honest, solving 3 hour mock was very hectic. So it is better to solve past year paper only. Okay.
Yeah, which is fine.
Okay.
See, I'm a very strong votary of past papers because past papers give me the logic, what kind of questions come, and that's the best practice I can get. No mock can be a substitute for past papers. So if someone says what should I do, past papers or mocks, I will always say past papers. If I have to choose one of them, ideally both, but if I have to choose one of them, I'll go with the mocks, with the past papers.
And I'm basically guessing all the mocks will be also inspiration of past papers. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Some of the sir, yes, sir, Jugaad method is working for me. Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
chalo, good. Someone confirming.
So we have got
12,
Dipalka,
13 okay, Sambuddha, 12, 13 is great. Not an issue at all. You are safe.
Deepta Deep. Deepta Deep. I hope I'm getting it wrong. That scoring, please 15 plus in VRC, 20 plus in QA and
Ooh.
DM 10 plus. Oh, that's good. Yeah, absolutely.
So Dipta Deep, you are 99.5 plus.
Yeah.
40 is
This
around
is
99, 50 is about 99.9, 45 is about 99.56.
yeah. So this is typically the typical cutoff. I'm not saying it is going to be the cutoff this year. This is going to be typical cutoff. So you are
Yeah.
there. Okay. Uh, Sir, will you be conducting such session for TISNET as well? Will you guide for TISNET? I think we should.
We will do that. Though I don't think me or Jijo are the best people for that. We'll get a couple of people from TIS who will be able to give you the right guidance.
Question RESA, sir, what type of essays and topics to expect? So essay will be very general ones. You've got 3, right? So essays are essentially asking you to what your opinion is, and you're defending your opinions. It's going to be your argument, right? So if you typically look at the past year essays, it's like it's not. It's a general topics, something that you'll be able to write. So essentially, you take a position on a stance and then defend your position. Give lot reasoning behind it as to why you believe what you believe. That's basically.
Jijo, from a student, Syed, glad to see you again, Syed. I hope you had a good cat. Not sure what score you got, but this is for you, Ayushi. Syed's answer, in case you have not looked at it in the chat box. Okay. Okay. So
I left job in 21, but took one in May. That is a decision. I still feel proud, else I would have been frustrating as you go. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And similarly, another answer to from Syed, that 3 hours is hectic, tiring. Take a break. Cat, you can't take a break. Zach, you can take 2 breaks of 5 minutes each after every section. Do one section, take a break of 2-3 minutes. Start the next section, take another break of 4-5 minutes.
So next question is, sir, please help with some hot topics of essay. I don't know what is hot. Usually they take topical issues, right? So you've got, what is it? You've got those issues with respect to freedom of speech, wokeism, leftist, rightist. You've got probably those issues. I'm not saying they will frame it that way. You could have issues that is happening with respect to COVID. What is happening there? You can have businesses. It could be anything. I think so long as you actually don't require. I might be saying this. You actually don't require too much of general knowledge to write things, write your arguments. Right? It's about you making a sensible argument. It's about 250 words, so you're basically making one broad argument on the topic. It's not like a 500-word essay. So it just makes sense. Okay. What is expected geometry weightage in QA? That is Adesh's
Expected
question.
geometry weightage in QA. Typically 3 questions, 4 questions. On the outside, if you have 5 questions, but I'll typically say 3 to 4 questions is what you should expect out of the 27, 28 questions. Okay.
I'm just looking at what are the number of questions that was asked last year. Okay, geometry, for example, 2022, there were 2 questions, 21, 5 questions, 2026 questions, 2019, 8 questions, 2018, 4 questions. So it is sort of, it can be anything for anything. Okay. Can current affairs come in XAT essay? Well, it not be current affairs. They will not be asking your knowledge on a particular issue. I think it's about your position on it. No, so it'll be you've got 3 topics, so you'll be able to pick one. Okay. So, sir, VRC feeling tough than CAT by looking at previous year paper. passage is very dense pre-sale. The passage is actually not very dense, Samadhi. In fact, the CAT passages, the sources of the passages are
Yes.
pretty
Similar.
similar to that. Pretty similar to CAT. I think it's just about what you feel it is tough. Like, it's just that you're feeling it is dense. It is not, right? So I know that you are being part of VRC 1000. हमने किया है सब that dense level passages, the type of question we already done. So it is not, it don't it feels tough. I think it's not that dense. And I have kind of shared it last time as well in terms of uh, what is so just give me there.
See, I'll go back in Gijo. You would have shared with them the Bain technique in
Correct.
VRC.
Uh,
Just apply that. You will be able to eliminate choices. Both ZAT and CAT, I've always found applying Bain plus whatever we have discussed in VRC 1000 is good enough. Don't get carried away by the fact that it's a difficult, dense, or whatever. Yes, it is. That is usually a little more difficult as compared to CAT as far as the RC passes are concerned. But as long as you're willing to apply the basic technique of Bain, you will be able to get it right.
so let me, for example, let me say last year, okay, one passage was taken from Aeon Psyche, right? The you know the FK level, right? The dense level, 11.5. Other was taken from an article from this site called ABC, an article 13.4. One was taken from a book, which is on importance of what we care about. 9.4 was the level. Uh, another was taken from Quartz. 13.7 was the level. The number of word is 318, 341, 327, 417. It is not like this. If it, let's look at 2021. One taken from BBC, one taken from the Guardian, right? Couple from the general books, and if you actually look at the dense level or the topic level, it is actually not. It is just in your mind. It is not that sort of tough. Okay. I'm Medansh. I am reading Hindu editorials for the past 4 months. Will that be enough for essay writing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to
More than
also.
enough.
The, uh, essay is about making good arguments, right? So, basically, how you want to make an argument is this, right? So, if some, uh, it's about how do I put this? Okay, so this is how you make argument. Okay, if you want to this, I'm sort of sidestepping this. Okay, so if you want to write about a particular topic, let's say that should alcohol be banned. Okay, uh, the first thing that they may come to our mind is that no, because I want to drink. Okay, that is probably the thought that I'm coming. That is probably coming to my mind. The idea is that the way in which you want to write is that you 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 are saying no, it should not be banned. You are giving a reason. Okay, or the evidence. The evidence is that consumption of alcohol is a matter of somebody's personal choice, and the government has no business in doing this. Okay, and sort of you want to build on this particular argument. The next sentence to write is you look at the assumptions here. State the assumption. What is the assumption that you're making? That personal choice matters. Yeah, assumption, है ना? And then you back this assumption. That's how you write. So you give a reason, think about what the assumption is, write the assumption, and back that assumption. So then the paragraph becomes. So you'll say that while so you then you can. So that is a basic sort of stuff that you can use to write a very compelling essay, right? You think of a reason, think of the assumption that you're making. You assumption. For example, you will write stuff like. Uh, while alcohol is a cause of many of the problems in society, banning alcohol is not the right decision because consumption of alcohol should be a personal choice of an individual, uh, and personal choice matters. If today the government can decide on what a citizen can drink based on a potential issue that may happen tomorrow, that can be extended to lot many different things in life. Therefore, uh, so banning alcohol is not a sensible decision. So it's about taking that sort of one thing that you want to write, simple argumentation. That's it. What else? Let's go. I think that is any tips for DI. Subhradeep, I feel that when I'm solving DAT, then I'm getting exhausted. A lot of people are getting exhausted, GP.
Hmm.
CAT used to be 3 hour test, no? Once upon a time.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think it's a matter of getting used to it. If you have taken 6, 7 papers, mocks and all that papers, each paper you would have done about 3 hours. By now, you should be okay with it. And the second thing which you should be comfortable with the fact is everyone is getting exhausted after 2 hours. It doesn't matter. Everyone will not score as much in the last 1 hour. That's fine. Doesn't matter.
I think take a break in between 2 minutes, 1 minute is fine.
I think that suggestion from Syed is very good. Uh, take a break after every section. Take a couple of minutes break. Stretch yourself. Ask for water. If they allow you, roam around a bit, walk around a little. Unlikely they'll allow you, but some centers allow you to go to the washroom. Just walk down to the washroom and come back. Okay, and then start all over again.
How to handle abstract essay topic? I don't think they're going to ask. Once in a while they used to
No,
ask.
there are no abstract topics in the last few years. There's been nothing. And
Uh,
again, all 3 topics will not be abstract. You'll have one topic at least which will
yeah.
be useful for you.
I also left the job in December 21, bit worried about it. Saga, don't worry at this point in time. You made a choice. We made a choice, right? Let's the
Yeah.
process get over. We'll come back. I think there is no harm in taking a break. No, why is
Hmm.
I think there's okay. Okay, so we'll carry on. So you've got what else? Syed, I'm just hoping that you will do well in XAT. Okay.
Mhm.
LRDA was not able to clear cutoff, but 99 point. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So should we attempt section wise? Should I ask? 60 minutes for VA, 60 minutes for QA, 50 for DR. It's okay, up to you. You can attempt section wise also. I'm just giving my suggestion. You can go with section wise also. There's no problem. 60 for
Hmm.
VA, 60 for QA, 50 for DM. There's no issues. That is still
Yeah.
170.
Yes, I would say, okay, this is the way Shaz I would typically attempt the paper. And I have typically found that VA doesn't take more than 55 minutes and DM doesn't take more than 45 minutes. Rest of the time typically goes to QA. And I've always found if you make 45 minutes of DM to 55, your score will come down. Same extra time in VA does not improve your score, it only reduces your score. Yeah.
This is what you're saying, no, GP?
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
So my typical thing is 45, 55, 65. This time they have 10 minutes extra. So I don't know what I'll do in the paper. I'll see. If I'm able to finish quant early, I will probably spend that extra time, go back and look at those questions of verbal or reading comprehension where I got confused. Possibly that is what I'll do. Otherwise, this is a paper where you don't leave a question because of lack of time. You leave a question because you don't know the answer.
I got 98.9% last year in XAT, but still not confident in verbal edition. Nobody is confident in fire. Everybody's like, so you just don't have to be confident. I think at this point in time, you go to the paper. You've got 98.9% last year. Just keep your cool, read it, make sensible decision. That's what you'll do. Sir, suggestion for what should be the structure format of the essay. Meghna has a question. See, Meghna, the structure. So it's 250 words, right? So any structural essay, this should be the structural essay. Tell them what you want to say it, tell them what you just said. You take your position up front only. Okay. You take whatever the topic, you stay your position front. Then you defend that position and then finish it. It's a simple structure.
So
So
250 words means something like four paragraphs, 3 to 4
51
paragraphs.
to 2 to 3 paragraph only. Yeah, that's it.
I would typically put 3, maybe 4.
Uh,
But to
uh,
me, what is it? An introduction,
hmm.
argument, closure. And which is what Jesus said in the introduction. I will typically tell them what I want to say.
Yeah.
In the second paragraph, the argument I will typically say that
Say
give
say it.
data or say
Uh,
that and give data to support it.
hmm.
And in the third paragraph, I'll probably take it to closure.
So the way in which you want to treat any essay, I'll give you another sort of thing that you want to do. In all the essay, you've seen the use of the word however. Okay. So for example, if let's say for example, I'm going to that topic and should alcohol be banned? Okay. I want to say alcohol should not be banned. So the where you want to start is you take the other side. Okay. You start by saying alcohol uh, is has caused many worries to society. May even is regarded one of the primary reason for domestic violence, and there is a merit in considering strong action against this. However, banning alcohol is not the right approach. Okay, and then you will get one nice paragraph. So you can write for anything like this. So if you want, if your position is yes, तेरा दुख समझता हूँ, लेकिन देखो,
लेकिन
हाँ ये problem है. So you can, this will cover nice. So you are considering the other point of view, right? And you can consider the point of view and write. So that's
okay.
somebody. I'm a student of CL. I have a doubt that I was doing a job for the last year. Can I use experience 1 year or should I? Okay. I have a doubt that I was doing a job from the last year of BTech from 2021. No. Your work experience should be based on the work experience that is considered for the marks would be based on what happened after graduation. Whatever work that you did during graduation is simply internship. You can obviously talk about it for everyone. Gejo sir's favorite topic. Yes, I know. Sir, kitna varsa everybody, sir, get a Red Bull. Okay, I'm moving on. It's the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay. So this year it's 300 words for essay. Is it?
So if it is 300 words, it's fine. So for one extra paragraph.
ये लिखा ना, it should not exceed 250. ये देख के मैंने बोला था.
हाँ, हाँ, 250 लिखा है यार.
For essay, can we cross the word limit by 100 words? Like it's 250 words. Why would I unnecessarily write a lot of things?
See, when they have given 250 words, please don't look at crossing the limit.
Yeah. Plan it. I think the very important thing is to plan. So you should write this in about 5-10 minutes. Plan it. First approach, RC or verbal. My suggestion would be verbal, definitely. Chota nipta दें and then do RC. That'll be my case. Up to you. Okay. I have a 4-year gap on account of family problems. How I hope I can justify interview. There is no point justifying. Justification kya? You have to tell your situation, no?
Yeah.
People understand.
Yeah. Again, I'm possibly repeating for the nth time. 2017, CAT 2016 rather, student with a 7-year gap in the interviews in 2017 converted Bangalore and Kozhikode. 7 years gap, and you're worried about 4 years. Okay, and I'll show you umpteen number of such cases with 4 years, 3 years, 5 years gaps. So don't worry, that's not an issue at all.
So there is nothing to justify. You tell your situation, and you're here. So that's no problem. For essay, limit is 250 words. Does that section not allow more than 250 words? I have no idea. There's no penalty and all. They have not told any penalty and all. Okay. So I have no idea how.
Yeah, there's no penalty as such, and there's no word. I don't think there was a word count or some counter for that. But I'll check this time.
In conclusion, should we focus on the initial stand, cover both for and against? There is no for and against, no, Meghna. It is your position. So you're defending your position. So the way in which, you have to restate your position. On argumentation means what? On an issue, I have taken a position, right? And then on that position, I'm defending. So the way in which you want to counter the other side is, okay, for example, I'm again going back to, sorry guys, alcohol should be banned. Okay. So I'm just going back to the next slide. I'm sorry once again. So if I take the topic, alcohol should be banned. My position is should not be banned. What is the counter to my case? What is the counter to my case? What is the counter argument to my position? Think about that. Who is going to attack me, right? The person who's going to attack me is basically saying that, look, alcohol causes a lot of issues, therefore we should ban it, right? I can address that argument. For example, I can write things like, for those people whose proponents of alcohol ban suggest that alcohol is because alcohol causes a lot many problems. Banning is the right. Banning is the solution. However, what they miss is that they assume that banning alcohol would mean the consumption of alcohol will reduce. All that we're trying to do is reduce the supply. The demand would still be there. Black market would cover it. It's going to create more and more problems. So there is no for and against, right? What is against my position? I will consider the argument against my position. I can still write it. Okay, so that's okay.
Gijo, there's
Uh,
a comment from Sohail. He says there's a note in the general section of the official website. Sohail, you can ignore that because it's the latest document.
yeah.
Okay, there's a latest document, so we'll go by the latest document because it is giving us clearly what is the structure this year and the instructions for this year. Okay,
So
so
my
that's the general purpose thing which you will go by. So 250 words is what I will look at.
so in the last role, I don't think that there was any strict word count anywhere. Okay, I don't remember having GP. पता नहीं है याद है आपको? मुझे
नहीं
तो
नहीं
नहीं
मेरे को
लगा.
भी नहीं याद है. I don't think there was any word count such kind of a thing out there.
So you
But
don't worry.
my point is, if they have written 250 words, why do I want to create a problem for myself and write a 300, 350, 400 word essay? Yeah, if it becomes 255, 60, I'll not worry about it. If it is
हाँ,
240, I'm not too worried. I'm thinking a ballpark 250 plus minus 20 words is not an issue.
basically about 3 paragraph. I think that's what it is.
Huh.
Or let's say short 4 paragraph.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are we allowed to visit the rest? I have no idea.
Depends on the center. Depends
हाँ.
on the center. Some will allow, some will not allow. So hopefully they will allow you. Because 200 minutes है तो बहुत time है. कुछ सब कुछ करके आ सकते हो.
Sir, in case of a topic comes on which we don't have prior knowledge or never heard of it, how to tackle it? You will get 3 topics here. It is very, very unlikely that you don't know all the 3, right? If you don't know all the 3, chances are nobody knows all the 3s. So, so you then you take the topic. For example, somebody is asking color television sales in North Korea. So I don't know anything about the topic. Then you take larger issues. Okay, what does color television suggest? Progress. What is North Korea? Whatever shitty country. So you'll have to write something for 250 words. If it's like, I don't know anything of the 3 words, right? If I don't know, okay. How many questions GK would be considered good attempt? Every question.
25.
There's no negative marking. So attempt all.
25 is a good attempt. No negative marking. You should mark an answer to every question. Typically, if you get anything between 7, 8 marks, you have done a decent job.
Yeah. Sir, I haven't got any call yet. Scored 94% in CAT. Putting high hopes on that.
Yeah.
All the best. Just take it chill.
Yeah.
Okay, go write the examination. Don't put yourself in too much pressure. With 94%, I'm sure that the calls are yes still coming out. I'm sure that you'll start getting calls from. I'm sure you will apply to colleges. Just hold on. Okay. How many questions to attempt for 99? 99 will be a score about 40. So maybe you should attempt about 50, 50, 55.
Yeah.
That range.
See, it's a 30, 40, 50, 35, 40, and 50.
Yeah.
40 is 99, 35 is about 97, 50 is about 99.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is GK actually going to affect, sir? I don't know. I think the GK will be a part of the second round for XLRA. So they'll have some weightage.
It is.
That's
At the time of interview, they'll possibly discuss it if you have a very poor score. Otherwise, it will not be looked at all. Yeah.
So I think that will be it will not have a huge impact, okay, but it'll have some impact. How much to score to get an XLR Delhi? I think they have not given a separate cutoff, anyways. So we'll go by the same sort of logic.
The cutoff is the same, Akash, both for Excel Delhi, and there's a common interview, common test, common interview process, common academics, common faculty, common placement.
Yeah. Anything about 200 words should be get decent at. It's not about number of words. It's about what you write in those words. So that's what is important. Okay, keep it very simple. No need to write flowery languages. Make simple arguments. What is important to make arguments, right? That's what it is. I think we have answered almost everything, GP. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
So all the best, guys.
So meet you again on Sunday. I am taking the paper. Shivku is taking the paper. There are another 7, 8 of us. So we'll meet, I think, around 8, 8:30. Now that it's 300 minutes, maybe need to shift the session by about half an hour or so. So 8:30 odd is likely to be that time. Okay. Okay. So very, very quickly, I'll take this question. Saurabh, issue is not a gem fresher. Yes, you did not. And also, so E and M is the issue. Because being an engineer, being a male, you did not get diversity points. And hence, you have lost out. Okay.
Plus, there is no marks of 0 for work experience, 0 for. So 20 marks you lost out, no? I think the straight away lost out 20.
6 marks each for gender and academic diversity, so 12 marks he's lost there. I think it is 6 or how much is it?
I think it was 5.
5 each, okay, whatever. Okay.
5 and 10 for work experience. So you lost there.
Yeah. So 20 marks you have lost, so that is why.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got more and more stories, GP. There is one more.
I know. Can't be helped. Guys, we can't help it. This is the criteria. It is a stupid criteria, I think. I don't agree with this concept of such a high weightage for gender and academic diversity. Um, but there's nothing you and I can do about it. Okay.
Yeah.
You can look at filing a class action suit, but all of us know it is not going to be of any use. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay, great then. Let's close the session. Good night. All the best. See you again on Sunday.
yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.